बोलती हूँ इंडिया में आज तक ऐसी फिल्म बनी ही नहीं है और शायद कभी बनेगी भी नहीं।
इस फिल्म के क्लाइमेक्स ने ना मेरे को अंदर से झकझोर दिया।
कंटारा बहुत कमाल फिल्म बनी है।
The images of Kāntāra, the faces and the bellows, the feeling of power soaring through your body on finally rising to a place of unbridled, unafraid, loud declaration will stay with me for a long time.
Hello cinema lovers, welcome to a Cinema Point of View YouTube channel. Today we will be analysing and discussing Kantara, a Kannada movie written and directed by Rishab Shetty and produced by Hombale Films. So what is Kantara is all about? The old folklore of Panjurli from the coastal part of Karnataka forms the heart of Kantara. The story begins in 1800 with the king in search of peace and harmony travelling the land and coming across the demigod Panjurli. He donates a vast portion of his land to the villagers in exchange for taking the stone with him. Panjurli warns the king that his family and successor should keep their word, otherwise they will incur the wrath of Panjurli's companion, the ferocious Guliga. Then the story jumps from 1800 to 1970. When the successor of the king demands the deity to make the locals hand over the land to him, the demigod refuses and states he will die vomiting blood if he tries to reclaim it. The successor raises doubt on the performer's possession by Panjurli itself, to which the performer replies he would vanish if he is possessed, after which he runs into the forest and is indeed never seen again. As warned, the king's successor dies mysteriously. The main crust of the story though begins in 1990, with Shiva and the local villagers of Kadubetu facing off with the forest officer to preserve the land. The Kantara is a complex story of the gods, men and the possession of the land. Who is the land belong to? Men, gods or nature itself? Is it the zamindar who owns the land? Or the tribal people who works on the land? Or the government who want to preserve the land for the animals and nature? The symbiotic relationship between men and the land is the heart of the story. If you keep cutting the tree, will the forest remain? The underlying theme of the movie is a struggle between humans and nature. Humans need to be rooted and to be one with the environment. At the beginning of the movie, the king who wanders the nation in search of peace and harmony needs to get off his white horse to be able to see the rock of the demigod. Later, his successor disrespects the same god and uses his power to gain possession of the land, for which he paid with his life. Even the protagonist, who at the beginning of the film drinks, fights, hunt boar and other wild animals without respecting the forest. The hero paid the price with the forest officer seizing his land, him going to jail and losing his cousin brother. Only after when he accepted his fate, the demigod helped him. There is also a mystical theme in the movie, the theme of father and son, where Panjurli possessed the father of Shiva and vanished to show the power of the demigod, was seen later constantly trying to call Shiva from the afterlife, the way of maybe trying to reach Guliga, Panjurli's companion. It is to be believed that both Panjurli and Guliga were fighting for the same land and engaged in a battle over it, but eventually entered into a truce after goddess Durga intervened. Later, Guliga became a close companion and even a worshipper of Panjurli. So divinely, both Panjurli and Shiva's father calling and reaching out to their sons to protect the land of the people. It's not just the themes. The technical aspect of the movie are also astonishing, as the movie uses the live location to absolute perfection. The use of light and dark authenticate the period of the movie. It creates a mystical world with gods and demigods. The characters are well realized, even though there is no backstory for most of the side characters, including Pramod Shetty's character. The language and portrayal were enough to make them likable and interesting. The movie created a world of Kadubetu to come alive on the big screen. The action scene is well shot and choreographed. And yes, the climax of the movie is probably the highlight of last year's movie experience. But, even said that, there is one thing missing in the climax. Yeah, let's get to the title of the video. No movie is perfect. Even the best of all time have rudimentary mistakes in them. Same way, Kantara is not perfect. The half-assed love story, the lack of backstory to the side character, some forced humor, but the biggest problem of the movie is the antagonist. Let me explain. The main villain, Devendra Sutturu, the Zamindar, the successor of the king and the rightful owner of the land, played by the veteran actor Achyuth Kumar. The Zamindar portrayed himself as the ally of the tribal people and tricks them to sign the land to his name. And when his plan was discovered, he became psychotic and tried to kill them all. The problem? He's not presented for the maximum time of the movie. No, we are not saying he's not present in the scene. We are simply saying he's not the villain for 80% of the movie, or not yet revealed for the audience. I don't think he knows that he's the villain. There was no tension between our protagonist and the antagonist. It doesn't happen till the last leg of the movie when the villain character decides to take the mask off. For the maximum runtime of the movie, it is Muralidhar character, a deputy range forest officer who is the biggest obstacle and a proper antagonist to our hero. He was the perfect villain. But we will come back to this later. The surprise villain trope only works if the audience was privy to the reveal beforehand. The breadcrumbs should spread throughout the movie and not just the end. The reveal without proper setup comes across as jarring and abrupt, as was the case in this movie. There were not too many layers to the character either, as he was either white, a vanilla good person who is always calming the escalating situation and helping the needy, or he was black, the greedy zamindar who will kill a helpless child just because he is evil. He was not intrigued to enjoy the portrayal or strong enough obstacle to feel the gratification after Guliga killed him. He should have been revealed from the beginning, as that will play to the tension of the characters. The hero Shiva working for him would have given him extra layers and arc to overcome. But having said that, the movie would have been far better if the Zamindar character was just the secondary villain and played the second fiddle to our main antagonist. Talking about our main antagonist, let's talk about the missed opportunity. The forest officer, Muralidhar, played by an amazing actor, Kishore. He was the main antagonist for the better half of the movie, not until the last part that he joined our hero and fought the Zamindar. The meaning of antagonist in literature is the principal opponent or foil of the main character. The true antagonist is always the basic source or cause of the conflict in the story. The main conflict of Kāntāra movie is the land, and the main cause of that conflict is Muralidhar character, creating the problem which need to be overcome by our hero, our protagonist. Muralidhar character is not a classical villain, or one can argue that he is not even a villain, and you are not wrong. He is the antithesis of our hero. He has his own principles, and he does believe what he is doing is the right thing. That's what makes him the great heel in the movie. As we the audience understood and sometimes even empathized with the motive of the Muralidhar character. He was just trying to protect the forest from encroachment, which is the cause of direct conflict between Shiva and Muralidhar's character. He takes Shiva's action of disregarding the law as a personal attack on him. This pushes him to cross the line and use violence to solve the problem, as we see it in the movie also. Now, imagine the climax. Instead of just Zamindar raiding the village, both Zamindar and the forest officer with all the manpower, local goons and the police officer, raided the village trying to kick the people out. And the Zamindar's character is the bad guy from the beginning, not covering under the veil of good person. He's helping the forest officer in a way to get back to the villagers who have taken his land and the reason for his father's death. Fight breaks out between tribal villages and the police. As the police have more manpower and ammunition, they are able to overpower the villages easily. But the Zamindar goes overboard and start firing at people, seriously injuring our hero and many others. Then the scene plays out as same as in the movie. Kulika possesses Shiva and he kills Devendra and his henchmen, proving the existence of the demigod to everyone else. And our antagonist Muralidhar, after spending the whole movie dismissing and even insulting the demigod, finally on his knees, accepting the local legend as the truth. Kishore's character accepts the mythology as real and understand the work of God, and announce that for forest and animals to prosper in the human world, the government and the local people need to work together. And that's the arc of the great villain. Thank you for watching the video. And remember, this is just an opinion. My opinion. Don't forget to hit the like button and share the video with your friends and family. Also, do subscribe to our YouTube channel.